Goods are an interesting concept in D&D. There are people who will argue that they are the most unrealistic thing in D&D and only serve as a DM's way to make the game move forward, and that's a dualist explanation, but I'd argue there is a Watsonian explanation. Now, harkening back to the prior video, it was a bit of a mess. Frankly, I was in a state when I made that, and it shows. Don't do coughing, kids. However, before recording, Pixy went off the rail and forgot what a plural is. He did make a couple good points, talking about realism in D&D has its place, because realism has a place in world building in general. And if we think D&D and follow the principle that realism is not reality, but the act of creating a fantastic universe in which the story takes place as a reality of its own, then a good makes a lot of sense. Fun exercise time. Let's imagine for a moment that you are a king in D&D. Your realm is relatively vast, your people are generally well off, your nobles aren't plotting against you, yet, and overall you are off to a good start. However, the realm is beset by roaming bands of monsters. You see, as a king, it is your responsibility to take care of the monsters. The whole reason that you have taxes is to be able to fund such projects after all. And most definitely, national defense in a world as dangerous as yours will take up a significant amount of cash. Now, you can choose to not do that, but then the following will happen. Your people, tired of monsters burning down their homes, will rise. They'll form a militia to take care of the monsters on their own, without your help or financial backing. Seems like a win, right? Well, no. You see, what happened here is that you proved that you don't care about them, and as such lost the people's backing. Just because you don't live in a democracy doesn't mean that people don't need to support you. Just the opposite. If you were democratically elected, you would just be removed the next election, but as a sovereign for life, that is out of question. Instead, the angry populace will make like revolutionary France and have your head removed instead. And of course, they will succeed. Your army has been sitting around getting rusty while the militia got battle-hardened against monsters. But even if you beat them back, you're back to where you started. Monsters abound, and it's your job to save the people. Now with the route of ignore and hope exhausted, let's explore how you can fulfill your kingly duties. Option 1. Send out the army. Using the taxes you collect, you hire, train and maintain a large standing army. This army gets stationed at every city, town and village, acting as a police state protecting the people. Of course, this will be expensive, but will give you the greatest direct power. Such a move will require that you tax the population quite a bit to maintain the army. Option 2. Give the responsibility to the lords. You have nobles for a reason, right? Task them with this responsibility. They must maintain their own armies, have them stationed at their own lands, keeping the people safe. Cost effective on you and gives the nobles something better to do than plot against you. Of course, this also means that all your military strength lies in many smaller lords. Some of whom might be able to afford a bigger stick than you. Thus, you just arm the people who have the vested interest in overthrowing you. Good luck. Option 3. Everyone for themselves. This is the option where everyone is free to carry weapons and must fend for themselves. Again, a fully armed peasantry is not ideal, so try and avoid this method. So, my gracious king, what shall it be? I have an idea. You see, there is a hidden option 4. Option 4. Outsourcing like a champ. Indeed, we will outsource the issue to a group of contractors. You see, on your land roam a group of ruffians. They are armed and love doing good for money. The issue is there is no good place to organize them. Here comes in the guild. It's the perfect way to organize this armed lot, and getting them to do the right thing. Let's take in order the benefits they bring. 1. This is very cost effective. You see, when you have an army, you need to pay for all of it. Wages, arms and armor, lodging, food and all the rest. You can have the soldiers provide some of their own armor, but that leaves you with an army whose capabilities are determined by individual wealth. Not exactly a strong force. With a guild, you can reduce these costs. You can pay only for what you need to be solved at the immediate moment. There are orcs nearby Trunken. Well, no need to pay for all the soldiers guarding the rest of the kingdom, just pay a meager wage for adventurers to take care of it. And if the guild is privately operated, you can even make it pay taxes. You don't want to be too greedy with this, they are there to help you after all, but you can still make them pay property tax on a low tax band. And if they charge a monthly subscription for their services, then you can have them pay taxes on income as well. Just be generous with that. 2. The lords aren't getting armies. This is a big one and an obvious one. It's never a good idea to have the lords with personal armies, and this minimizes their power. You remain the king longer. But what if the guild gets ideas? No issues there. Remember how I said these ruffians only work for money? Well, if the guild wants to rise, they better need to be able to afford all their employees, because without that, what army do they have? If it comes down to it, you can pay more than they can. The best part of mercenaries is that they are affordable. You just need the right price. 3. You can implement a weapon carrying law. The issue with the normal population is clear to see. An angry peasant might get ideas if they have the means to do so, so it's better to remove the means to do so. But how to enforce a law like that in such a dangerous land? With guilds, of course. Traders guilds, adventurers guilds, merchant guilds, and so on. As a member of these guilds, you could get an ID, proving that you're part of the organization. Then you can restrict weapon rights only to the groups that are part of these organizations. Of course, to make the deal sweet enough for them to take it, you should attach some benefits to it, such as cheaper stays in inns and medical care in temples. It will cost a bit to the treasury to pay for such subsidies, but it's a cost you must accept to pacify the population. And lastly, 4. You have the adventurers under control. You see, the only difference between a ruffian and a bandit is a thin layer of morals. Nothing that money cannot buy. And the issue is that these people are strong. A well-traversed adventurer can compete with dragons and hydras and other dangerous creatures that foretell a kingdom's demise. If one of these creatures goes rogue, then there's little that the normal soldier can do to slow them down. But another adventurer? It will be an epic battle to witness, and one where the odds are even. And where can we hire these adventurers to fight off the common bandits? The guild. And the best part is, we determine who counts as a bandit. You are armed and not part of the guild that gives you permits? Well, you are evil then. Just a common bandit. So my dear viewer, if you are convinced by this amazing sales pitch, then I recommend you add guilds to your game. Not only does this make your time as a DM easier, it provides a character explanation as to why the king of the realm is happy with armed people going around dealing out justice for their own cash payment.